The first test of the Prime Minister's EU summit veto. Our political correspondent Michael Crick has spent the day in the West London constituency next to London's Heathrow Airport and has this report.
Beneath the flight paths next to Heathrow and on the western edge of London, Feltham and Heston is chock full of aeronautical history and political history. This is the site of the old Heston Airport, where in 1938 Neville Chamberlain famously came back from seeing Hitler in Munich, waved a piece of paper and declared, "Peace for our time."
Here is the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine.
Well, there's been much debate over the last few days over whether David Cameron has been a Chamberlain or a Churchill. This morning, another jumbo was spotted here, the Communities Secretary Eric Pickles, backing the main challenger to Labour in this seat, Mark Bowen, a local IT manager at BA. After last Friday, will the Tories now try to air freight powers back from Brussels? So full speed ahead now with repatriation of powers?
We now got to concentrate, I think, on ensuring that our colleagues, our European partners, sort out the euro.
But you not want to repatriate some powers, or have you abandoned that idea?
Everything in good time, Mr. Crick, everything in good time.
Well, now's the chance. Seize the opportunity.
Now, don't be provocative.
This is party policy, after all, isn't it? I mean, you were chairman of the party. Repatriate powers. Has that now been abandoned because you're frightened of the Lib Dems?
No, of course, we will seek to repatriate powers in due course.
In a local optician, the Shadow Chancellor Ed Balls was grappling with the perennial vision problem.
Challenge him.
Oh, try them.
Something like that.
Try them.
Let's put a challenge
Try
to
them.
Michael. See how modern
I'll
he
hold
can
your
be.
glasses. I'll hold your glasses.
No, we need to go a bit more wider than that. Just a bit more wider on the sides. A bit narrow.
It brings him into the 1990s, doesn't it? Like really, like a shot.
Seema Malhotra, who's worked in the city, faces a big pay cut if she becomes the MP, which she probably will, as Labour has a majority of 4,500 here. You're signing the petition, Mr. Balls.
Yep.
Would you have signed the treaty on Friday?
I think the treaty,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
the lack of progress on Friday is going to be a complete disaster for this constituency, not just in Britain,
So
but
you would
right
have
across
signed it then?
Europe. Look, what they have agreed, well, for Britain, David Cameron has walked away from an agreement. Was it the big bazooka David Cameron told us a few weeks ago he was going to get from Europe? It was a damp squib.
The UKIP contender Andrew Charalambous, canvassing this morning on the phone, is third favourite with the bookies and many experts, even though UKIP were well behind the BNP last year. But after events in Brussels, some UKIP voters may switch back to the Tories. Cameron's stolen your thunder, hasn't he?
Not particularly, because although he's put in this veto thing, what he's done is he's essentially isolated us within the European Union. So it now means that the other 26 nations, who are, bear in mind that we're more unpopular now within Europe than we've ever been, Cameron's isolated us. So as far as we're concerned, he was in a lose-lose situation.
The Lib Dems have lost their touch in by-elections under Nick Clegg, and their man Roger Crouch may struggle despite ministerial support today at a local charity. But all is not lost in Europe, Paul Burstow suggested.
Because we're at the beginning of a negotiation process. We don't see the fine print of this process for weeks to come.
His veto then, are you? You're saying it wasn't really a veto?
I'm not withdrawing anything. I'm just simply saying what we've said over the weekend and what the leader of our party is making very clear throughout the weekend in terms of our concerns about growth and jobs being affected if we don't make sure we're fully engaged in Europe.
Storms are forecast here for Thursday, but don't expect much upset politically. Michael Crick, Channel 4 News, Feltham and Heston.
And here's the full list of candidates in Feltham and Heston. Voting takes place this Thursday. And you can keep up with us both via Twitter, @JohnSnowC4 and @.